excuse me. I want that. I need that. And yet, I haven't read that. Anything but quick. Here's your wet wipe. Hi, Dad. I had to get more books. Shocking. As readers, we know that reading is one hobby, but buying books is another. And once you start down this road of, I like reading, I'm actually going to spend my free time reading, you end up slipping into the other one of buying books. They go together so well, but it becomes an issue when maybe you're buying too much. Or for me, it's an issue because I've been in a reading slump for almost a whole year. Not only was my TBR already huge, it is now unbearably huge, to the point that I might be hiding books in cars and other places so that I don't have to like look at. Now I have a bookshelf in my room where I'm supposed to put all my books that I still need to read, and yeah, that shelf is full and exploding. There might be some other books hidden around just so that I don't have to feel bad about the fact that I have an exploding shelf. So today is as much for me, not just to show you what I have, but for myself to like, so that I know what I have and can actually start getting through it, because I need to start being honest about how much I have, because I have no clue. Now I'm really hoping that it's like under 300 or under 200. Under 200 would be lovely. I just don't think that's the reality, because there's going to be a lot of books. I'm going to say a couple things about some of them, or like read some of the things about some of them, but I'm just going to also just try to get through this at a reasonable pace. So let's just do it. We're starting with One Last Stop Next, Witches Steeped in Gold. I just thought it looked really cool. One of my favorite booktubers was talking about reading it. Unfortunately, they came back after the fact and kind of said that they were having trouble getting through it because of some problematic things. So now I'm a little nervous about getting into it. I recently got another copy of A Little Princess because I really want to do a video about The Little Princess. I've been wanting to reread it. All I remember is like I read it when I was really little, and then I loved the movie, but I don't think I've ever read it like as a teenager or as an adult, and now I feel like I need to. So I've started this, but of course I'm not done. It's called No Bad Parts, and it's really interesting so far. I'm trying to get through all of Maya Angelou's work. I still have to read I Shall Not Be Moved, and I really liked this copy. It was just really pretty. Now this book, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, has been recommended to me by people in my life and by a bunch of booktubers, and it sounds like something that's like what I need for my little heart to heal. I still haven't gotten around to it. I think the expectations are a little too high. Word by Word, Dress Codes for Small Towns, recommended by a booktuber. This one I just saw, I don't know, something about it. I was like, that's kind of weird, and so I just grabbed it. There's gonna be a lot of ones where I just picked up because something about the cover or something about the marketing for the book, I was like, oh. So you know, sometimes they do a good job. This apparently, like, it's Elvis themed and there's a road trip, but apparently this is kind of about like a family that doesn't really talk to each other and doesn't really have connection, kind of like dealing with that and hopefully coming up with more connection. Now this has been everywhere for the last couple of years. Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge and Teachings of Plants. Every time someone talks about it, I'm like, I want that, I need that, and yet I haven't read that. So this is Finding Someplace. It's about a 13-year-old dealing with Katrina. She was actually there when it happened and kind of just like coming of age around that. I just like the cover. I am over halfway in the City of Girls and I like it, but obviously there's a reason I put it down and haven't touched it in like 2 months. 3 months. So I need to figure out why, because I do like this one. I don't know much about it, but I liked the cover, so I think that might have been the reason I grabbed this originally. I have the Emerald City of Oz, one of the Wizard of Oz books. As soon as people find out that Wizard of Oz is like a whole series, their like mind is like I read some of the later ones and they're weird. I got this last year at a local bookshop, and it was one of the most interesting things at the store at the time. Mary Jekyll's life has been peaceful since she helped Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson solve the Whitechapel murder. Beatrice, I'm not gonna know how to pronounce that, so Beatrice something, Catherine Moreau, Justin Frankenstein, and Mary's sister Diana Hyde have settled into the Jekyll household in London. And although they sometimes quarrel, the members of the Athena Club, oh, I've heard of that, get along as well as any 5 young women with very different personalities. At least they can always rely on Miss Poole. But when Mary receives a telegram that Lucinda Van Helsing has been kidnapped, the Athena Club must travel to the Austro-Hungarian Empire to rescue yet another young woman who has been subjugated to horrific experimentation. Simon versus the Homo sapien agenda. You know, this is another book that a lot of people have heard about or seen the movie or whatever. I'm actually a few chapters into it. I'm enjoying it. I just had to put it down and then I lost it, and so it's just been a while since I've picked it up. Eliza and Her Monsters. This was a book I was recommended like 5 years ago, and then I got it for like 50 cents at a yard sale. So then I was like, okay, fine. Might as well actually read it from an Italian garden. It has recipes. It's mostly a cookbook, but it does have like little sprinklings of knowledge thrown in that aren't just the recipe. That's the type of book that's more of a reference than like you read through it. So maybe I should actually take it off my TBR and put it like with, I have a couple of cookbooks that I like going through. I Shot the Buddha. See, that title alone, that was enough to be like, what? Takes place in 1979. It's just talking about Buddhism in general. So yeah, I'm curious. American Street. This book I did start, and it made me so sad because it literally starts with, if only I could break the glass separating me and Mom with thoughts alone. On one side of the glass doors are the long lines of people with their photos and papers that prove that they belong here in America, that they are allowed to taste a bit of this free air. On the other side is me, pressing my forehead against the thick see-through wall. My shoulder hurts from the weight of the carry-on bag. I refuse to put it down for fear that they will take it away too. And that just made me cry. I was in a place where I was emotional, but like that made me cry. And I was like, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna love it. But because it did make me so emotional, I was like, oh, I can't read that. Hi, I had to change my camera battery, which is probably not a good sign because we are only at the beginning. So the next one, The Curse of the Boyfriend Sweater. I just liked the idea. Headstrong, which is about a bunch of female scientists and what they contributed to the world. Death Around the Bend. Apparently it's a part of a series of mysteries, but I just found this for like 25 cents, so I was like, I'm gonna get it. The General in His Labyrinth. I love labyrinths, so I love that, and then I loved the artwork. The Book of Eels, our enduring fascination with the most mysterious creature in the natural world. One big pile done. So this is called Hide, and I for sure got it because of the title and the artwork. Mind of the Raven, which there's a raven on there. It's hard to see. Several people have recommended this to me because apparently ravens have a bunch of qualities that are a little sketch. And so people were like, you would actually really like this. Another book that somebody recommended to me, A List of Cages. The Line Becomes a River. Okay, so this I picked up because a quote on the back. I don't even know the person who made the quote, but I was just like, I get that. They said, one of the perks of being a writer is you get sent proofs of books. Most are not for me, but occasionally you get sent a gem. The Line Becomes a River is stunningly good, beautifully smart, raw, sad, poetic, and humane. It is the best thing I've read for ages. And I'm like, I don't know you, but I totally get what you mean by like having all those qualities in a book is kind of unique. And if it really is something like has all those qualities, yeah, it better be one of the best books you've read in a while, because dang. The Man Who Sold the Eiffel Tower. I've read like the first like 8 or 10 pages of this. I don't know if I want to keep it or like even continue reading it. I'm gonna get rid of this one because I like the idea of it, but when I was actually reading it, I wasn't really enjoying it. I'm gonna toss slightly into a soft thing. This one is called Golden Boys. This is like a family relationship stuff after a family has moved, and like apparently their dad is unique and weird. And the matzo ball, I just low-key really like the title and the art. The Woman in the Blue Cloak. The title really got me. The Science of Breakable Things. Let's see. When Natalie's science teacher suggests that she enter an egg drop competition, Natalie thinks this might be the perfect solution to all her problems. Okay, how? There's prize money. And if she and her friends win, she can fly her botanist mother to see the miraculous cobalt blue orchids. Flowers that survive against impossible odds. Natalie's mother has been suffering from blah blah blah, and she's hoping like the magic will inspire her to get healthier. I'm there for the ride for sure. The Great Candy Train Robbery. Now this book is like from 1897, and the spine is broken. I love mysteries, and I love old mysteries. As long as it's not too sexist, I will enjoy this. Because sometimes, like, people got away with saying a lot of things that wouldn't be appropriate today. Let's just say that. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Everyone's reading this, so might as well. No, I actually originally got an uncorrected proof of this and really liked the idea of it. And then, yeah, just haven't read it. Greetings from Witness Protection. Now, this is an uncorrected proof. Nikki Demir is an orphan and a pickpocket. She is also the U.S. Marshal's best bet to keep a family alive. A long, long time ago, and essentially true. This is a story about World War II, and a love story. And I just thought it was pretty. I also got it for 50 cents. So, like, yeah, sometimes it really is like, it's pretty, and I can get it for cheap. And like, this one really intrigued me. The Empty Robe. The story of the disappearance of Judge Crater. Now, this is a true crime. A few minutes past 9 o'clock on the evening of August 6th, 1930, a tall, heavyset man wearing a brown suit, Panama hat stepped into a taxi near Times Square in New York City. He waved to some friends with whom he had been dining and pulled out into traffic. Keep that in mind. The man was Judge Joseph Force Crater, political bigwig and justice of the New York State Supreme Court. He was never seen again. We also have another true crime. Unnatural Death Confessions of a Medical Examiner. So I guess not true crime, but like in the same vein, I guess. And the picture is so ominous. You can't really see because it's blacked out, but it's basically like the exam table, but it's showing like a weighted scale and like some of the tools they would use to like cut through things. So I think it's like every November or every February, it depends on the year, I get super invested in wanting to read cozy mysteries. And so I do pick up cozy mysteries when they're cheap and like, they seem interesting. It's called Knit Fast, Die Young, which I love that reference. And a lot of cozy mysteries, they always play on like pretty like big references. Like every once in a while you need something that's just easy and fun, but maybe a little scary, creepy, but like not to the point that you're like the medical exam thing where you're gonna be like scarred. Just a little creepy, but mostly calm and nice. The Traveling Tea Shop. I really like the art on this, and whenever there's something where it's like tea or book or cat and doing something or at a place, I'm gonna give that a chance, you know. The Quick, which if you've ever read The Quick, you will understand that it's not quick at all. I am on page 203 and it's a good book, but it is, yeah, anything but quick. I like it. The words are teeny and it goes on, but it's good. But then I get discouraged. I don't know. Ching, or the Book of Changes, A Guide to Life's Turning Points. This is like a Chinese philosophy. Three Dark Crowns. In every generation on the island of Fenbrin, a set of triplets is born. Three queens, all equal heirs to the crown, and each possessor of a coveted magic. One of them can create flames or vicious storms. One of them can poison people. One of them has like power over plants and animals, like can communicate. But becoming the queen crowned isn't solely a matter of royal birth. Each sister has to fight for it. And not just a game of win or lose, it's life or death. Because, yeah, of course, you have triplets, but then you don't get to keep all of them. A Darker Shade of Magic. I love this author, but I haven't read this series. Sheets. I heard from Books Unbound podcast about Sheets, and then I started reading it, like an e-version of it, online, and I was like, I need the physical copy. Like, it's nice to like read comics online, but like the way it was formatted, I was like, I just want the whole one. So I'm really excited to actually read it and not read part of it and then get discouraged because I wanted, like, don't call the wolf. Disappear into a forest of shape-shifting queens, bone-chilling monsters, and delicious dark magic in this richly imagined YA fantasy debut. Ooh, there's dragons. Yeah, so I like when there's dragons. Everyone's reading this. Legends and Lattes. And I love like things that are like fantasy and cozy and like not too much of a quest. So like there's like I like little like side quest things, but I don't necessarily like a giant quest. So I'm really hoping that I'm gonna like it. So I don't know how much you saw, but basically I was talking about First Life, and I like the idea of this. It's basically talking about what can happen after life. It's like this whole simulation thing. Clone. If we're being honest, I got this because it was pretty. Station 11. Everyone and their mother has read this or is about to read this. So there we go. If you like westerns, you will have heard of the name William W. Johnstone. Apparently, he also has a mystery novel. And there's a really creepy picture on it. There we go. So I'm really excited for this. What got me on this was not the very interesting image on the front, but the description. Scratch, purr. Night after night, the soft cat noises drifted through the isolated A-frame where famous author D. Connor retreated to write her romances. Was it another harmless prank pulled by one of her fans? Or was it something much more sinister and deadly? Scratch, purr. Carl Garnett, the bodyguard hired to protect Dee, recognized the sounds for what they were: demon sounds. The contented murmurings of Satan himself. Garrett was one of the few survivors of the hushed-up events in Rugger County, but the Lord of Darkness would not make the same mistake twice. The battle was only just beginning, a battle of nerves as well as strength, that would pit one man against the most terrifying evil of all. Cat's Eye. Gotta reread One Speck of Truth, just a pretty cover. The Devil in Massachusetts, I have tried to read, had to put it down. Gonna try to read again. Everyone and their mother has also read The Inheritance Games, and I'm really excited. I just haven't had the time. We Live in Water. It's a collection of stories, and I'm excited. A Little Manual for Knowing. My dad got this for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I've read some of it. Hi, Dad. I haven't finished it. And part of it, I think, is like kind of like a workbook. So I need to get on that. I need to finish this. Sputnik Sweetheart. I just like this author to an extent. There's a few whatevers. And I like the cover. We got through another huge pile, which is awesome. Oh, there's more. Just thought it was interesting. I like that type of thing. Creativity Inc. Everyone's recommending this. Apparently, there's actually some really good nuggets. When the Nines Roll Over, I'm actually going to get rid of. There's my get rid of piles over there. Killer Content. Vanishing Fleece. It's one of those books that people are talking about, but not like, I don't know if BookTube is talking about it. I keep hearing that people. Travels with Epicurus. A journey to a Greek island in search of a fulfilled life. That's right up my alley. Let's be honest. Pocket magazine things. Tales from the Yoga Studio. Okay, yoga, another thing. I see it as a novel. I'm gonna at least pick it up and try it. I want to read this series. It's a middle grade series about space, like a space school thing. Magic Cats 2. It's a collection of a collection of like cat stories. The Hobbit. I have realized recently, I never actually read this. Girl, 15, charming but insane. Artwork and title. Cat in the Dark. It's one of those cozy mystery things that I enjoy from time to time. Two Night Owl from Dogfish. It's the friendship coming of age, middle grade. The Story Tree, year 1. Devil and Pew number 7. Honestly, I got this for a video. I've heard it a lot. The Mummy at the Dining Room Table. I'm gonna say this wrong. I know it in my head, but I'm gonna say it wrong. Eminent therapists reveal their most unusual cases. I'm actually trying to get through all of Oliver Sacks' work, and I just haven't read On the Move yet, so I heard from multiple booksellers that this book is actually pretty great. World of Wonders. In praise of fireflies, whale sharks, and other astonishment. And I just really like the illustrations in this are like so pretty. Rebel with a Cupcake, that's for a video. The Chess Queen Enigma, also for a video. Okay, that's another huge pile done. Power, ambition, glory, the stunning parallels between leaders of the ancient world and today. And the lessons that you can learn. Glory. Monk, I like Monk. And also, I have an idea for a video involving, I have another Monk book somewhere in this stack. And so just involving like those 2 Monk books. Here Be Monsters, got for 10 cents. So, of course. The Woman at the Washington Zoo. Writings on politics, family, and fate. So this is a political journalist who did like really good profile pieces on people, kind of talking about their life. I always wonder how journalists, like the ones that actually care, because this, based on what I read about in the back of the book, all these people really cared about this person and like said that she actually cared about her job and like did a good job. So The Memory Thief, someone recommended it. A little something different. Apparently, this whole book is written from perspectives of people that see them on the park bench and like what they think is going on with these 2 people and like if they have a relationship or not. And I'm like, that's kind of an interesting take on like a love story, because you're not actually getting the point of view of either of the characters who might actually be in the relationship. You're getting everyone else's view of the relationship. Like, that's a good idea. I swear and I vow, I just like the artwork and I like the idea of a medical mystery. How to Find Love in a Bookshop. A story about books? Of course I'm gonna like it. Liquid Rules. The delightful and dangerous substances that flow through our lives. I'm so curious. The Long Haul. A trucker's tales of life on the road. Again, I like the idea. I like learning about different people's lives. Like, some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube are like the day in the life of blank. I really enjoy like, what is everyone else doing? In the Time of Butterflies is about 3 or 4 sisters. 4. So basically, these 4 sisters, their father is a dictator, and you find out really early on. It's in the blurb. It's like in the first chapter. Apparently, I haven't double checked, that there was a horrible car crash. Some of them die, some of them are alive, and like you're getting the perspective of the car crash from like the person writing the article about it. And apparently the person that's writing the article doesn't, they say that some of them died, but they don't say that some of them lived. Also, I think throughout the whole book you're getting perspectives of all the different sisters, but I think only one of them actually ends up living through the car crash. So this book I've actually tried to get rid of, but then I read the back of it and then I couldn't. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory. I really like this author. Has a YouTube channel that's very educational and interesting, and I like it, so I'm excited to get to read this. The Year of Secret Assignments. I'm excited. Counting Time. I like the cover. What the Night Sings. I loved the art. I loved the art inside. It looks so beautiful. I'm excited. A Life Discarded. 148 diaries found in the trash. To the Letter, a celebration of the lost art of letter writing. I love letter writing. Pecked to Death by Ducks. If you don't get that, then you never will get me. Never Get Out of This World Alive is about a doctor who allegedly poisons someone with morphine, and then years later, it's like another person that person knew finds the doctor, and the doctor has lost his license and is like druggy. I'm rereading this, so I just, The Chick is in the Mail. It's a collection of stories. Euphoria. It's about anthropologists in 1930. Just so you know what type of euphoria we're talking about. The Listeners, I just liked the art. The Stars We Steal. Engagement season is in the air, but 18-year-old Princess Leo Kohlberg, heir to a fated European spaceship, has more problems than figuring out what dress to wear. Her father and sister are on the brink of spending the last of their family fortune, and having no money means Leo can't afford to patent and sell her latest invention. With no other options, Leo has one thing on her mind: which lucky bachelor can save her family from financial ruin? A cookbook conspiracy. So this is a mystery that also has recipes, and it has a cat on the cover. So everything I want and nothing I don't. The Adventures of the Girl Called Bicycle. Now, if anyone called me Bicycle, I would fight them. But okay. 12-year-old Bicycle has lived in the mostly silent monastery in Washington, D.C. for as long as she can remember, surrounded mostly by silence. Every time she meets other children, she's astonished by how noisy they are. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, she gets to go on a crazy adventure. Time Stops for No Mouse. I love the title. Song of Solomon. That was a recommendation. Trial by Fire. This was also recommended to me. Kitchens of the Great Midwest. This is a story that probably has recipes too. Let's see. I don't know if it has recipes. It definitely is a novel. And once I read the title, you should understand why I got this. Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come. One Introvert's Year of Saying Yes. So, Tethered. Clara Marsh is an undertaker who doesn't believe in God. She spends her solitary life among the dead, preparing their last baths and bidding them farewell with a bouquet from her own garden. Her carefully structured life shifts when she discovers a neglected little girl playing on the playground. And then there's a detective, and then she basically has to decide what happens to the little girl. So, Playing with Matches. I like the art. I like the title. The Invisible Thread. I like the idea. Crying in H Mart. One of my favorite booktubers loves this book, so I need to at least try to read it. Killing Mr. Watson. Magic in the Park. So Pedal Pushers, a rock and roll Cinderella story. I really enjoy Cinderella or any princess retelling. I will at least give it a chance. I now pronounce you someone else. I really appreciate that. So, Counting by Sevens. The Unspeakable Unknown. Murder at Dunsinane and Other Stories from Shakespeare. Abridged from the Enchanted Island. Out of the Easy. It's gonna make me cry, but I'm excited. Death Comes to Pemberley. Excited. I've read some of it. I need to finish it. I Was Told There'd Be Cake. Essays. I love essay collections. Who Named the Knife? Just the one of those where it's just the name alone. Hello. I am back. Excuse me. The Bone Lady. Life as a forensic anthropologist. Southern Traveler. It's a collection of essays. Like I said, I will give essays a chance. I do like this author. Ernest Hemingway. A Farewell to Alms. I started it, but I've only read a few pages. Sorry Not Sorry. When Life Gives You Limes, Make Margaritas. Sometimes you need that kind of silly or easy or kind of trashy. The Way of the Hen. Zen and the Art of Raising Chickens. Rigor Mortis, How Sloppy Science Creates Worthless Cures, Crushes Hope, and Wastes Billions. My type of book. This is a book my husband wants me to read. It's stories by Brad Watson. Last Days of Dogmen. My husband's like, it will take you like 30 minutes to read. Just read it. I'm like, yeah, okay. And the thing is once I read it, I'm gonna love it. I just haven't gotten to it. Everybody Always Becoming Love in a World Full of Setbacks. This is like a Christian book. I like it so far. I just haven't finished it. Big Girl, How I Gave Up Dieting and Got a Life. I am 4 chapters in. It's good so far. It's also kind of triggering because she's like talking about like how most people who get bigger, it's because of like trauma. Like, it isn't just because of like how you're eating. How you're eating is how you're coping with trauma. And so she actually talks about like some of her trauma. So that's like fun. The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. Of course, anything to deal with books or libraries or librarians. We're gonna at least give it a try. How Nettie Took the Train, Went to Hollywood, and Saved Civilization. That is why. The Deluxe Transitive Vampire. The Ultimate Handbook of Grammar for the Innocent and Eager and the Doomed. I just thought that was kind of incredible. Okay, so I love Big Hero 6. So I got the Big Hero 6. How to Change. The Science of Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. I have read some of it. How to Buy a Love of Reading, which I've read some of. We Are the Weather. Saving the Planet Begins at Breakfast. I liked Eating Animals. I think it was done very well. I've heard from some booktubers that he kind of goes back on part of what he said in Eating Animals that kind of angered some people. So, I don't know yet. Lumberjanes, Beware of the Kitten, Holly Holy. So, I love the idea of this. Multiple people have recommended this. But now my expectations are sky high. So I haven't actually read it. It's three hardback graphic novel books, and like they're dragons that are based on different tea you have. So you have your tea and you have your pet dragon. So I like dragons and I like tea, and everyone's like, yeah, you'd like it because the art style is really cute, and like it's just like this, like a comfort read. And I just haven't gotten to it because I'm scared now because everyone's like, it's so good, it's so good. It better be. Castronauts, Race to Mars. I read the first one. I kind of said it was a little heavy-handed. It was, but it was also enjoyable, and I do like the art. So this is like another graphic novel. Murder on the Iditarod Trail. I really like the Iditarod. My school, when I was in 5th grade, did this whole Iditarod project where like we actually tracked the racers and had to like have multiple reports on it. It was fun. And I like mystery. The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows is a book my father got me. The Joys of Travel. I've heard this is like one of the better books about traveling. Untamed. Stop Pleasing. Start Living. Death with Interruptions. I like the idea. So Agatha Christie wrote a bunch of mysteries. However, this is, I don't know what you'd call it, honestly. All the things we didn't say. So it's like a family working through stuff together. Have a Packing for Mars. Probably for a video. I have never read The Princess Bride, and it's for a video. Murder at the Chessboard. I just like the idea. Dark Night of the Soul. Title. Hello. A Masterpiece in Literature of Mysticism by St. John of the Cross. It's just like curiosity, which might destroy me, but you know. On Hurricane Island. As a major hurricane threatens the Northeast, math professor Gandalf Cohen is abducted by federal agents and flown to a secret interrogation center off the coast of Maine. Dun dun dun. That was enough to hook me, but there is more of a summary there. The choosing. Not to be chosen would yield a cruel fate of my own making. And I really I liked that tagline, but I also really liked the art. I've heard people recommend this. Dial A for aunties. Aunties. I gotta get my aunties. No biking in the house without a helmet. 9 kids, 3 continents, 2 parents, 1 family. Again, that was enough. To like the trial of Chicago 7, I just was interested in this after that movie. The creative call, sex, time, and power. Smoke and Mirrors. It's like a Christmas time story with a magician. With a mystery at Christmas time. Monroe versus the Coyote. I really liked the artwork. The smell of other people's houses. So that title, and then the artwork. Just Tormented, a Fallen novel. I haven't read Fallen. Bad Girls of the Bible. The Fire Never Goes Out, a memoir in pictures. I love when people do their memoir and like have illustrations or have it be like more of a graphic novel, because I think that actually captures a life better than just like writing about a couple things that happen to you. And this has actual photographs as well as like drawings. I've read like chapter 1 of this and I'm interested, so I'm not going to get rid of it. But yeah, The Haters. This person wrote me, Earl, and the Dying, oh my gosh, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, and I liked that, and I thought that was a better version of, what's that one? It was a John Green one. Speaking of John Green, Turtles All the Way Down. A beautiful work in progress, a memoir. Again, I really do enjoy memoirs if they're done well. Idaho, I got this for a video. Selfish, Shallow, and Self-Absorbed. I actually got this for a video. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It was recommended to me because every year I will read either Glass House Morganville Vampires, or I will read like the Vampire Academy series. I do still like vampire books, even though, you know, they were super trending when Twilight, well, technically before Twilight, and then Twilight made them even trendier. And they're definitely not for everyone, but I do, every once in a while, I'm like, I need a vampire book. We wish to inform you that tomorrow we will be killed with our families. I have read some of this. I have not read all of it. And it's a lot. But I think it's very important. I think it's done very well. Draw Your Weapons, I've been wanting to read, but haven't. The Cat, the Devil, the Last Escape. I got this recently for my I think I'm going to do a couple different cozy mystery videos in the near future, because I really do appreciate a cozy mystery. Again, every once in a while. Humankind. Solidarity with non-human people. What makes a human? As science and technology challenge the boundaries between life and non-life, between organic and inorganic, this ancient question is more timely than ever. That was enough to get me. If you ever enjoyed Nancy Drew, you would enjoy this, and you might enjoy it better. Because I feel like Nancy Drew books have been updated, like to fit the time period a little bit better. I don't know about this series. It's another young girl that sells mysteries, and she is so sassy, and like she just like Nancy Drew is like organized and polite and like very put together, and then she's kind of more like normal and wild and willing to go on adventure. I always found it funny that Nancy Drew is so willing to go on adventure, because like she is written, especially in like the actual old ones, she is written as like neat and clean and tidy, and like carries around like sanitary not like wet wipe type things, and also and she like gives them to other people. You're like, here's a wet wipe. She also carried around like medicine, first aid kit. I think one version of the story, I think she carried around like the sanitary things that you could like put over like a public toilet. Hello again. The Cat, the Devil, the Last Escape. I got this recently for my I think I'm going to do a couple different cozy mystery videos in the near future. I really do appreciate a cozy mystery. Again, every once in a while. Humankind. Solidarity with non-human people. What makes a human? As science and technology challenge the boundaries between life and non-life, between organic and inorganic, this ancient question is more timely than ever. That was enough to get me. Now, if you ever enjoyed Nancy Drew, you would enjoy this, and you might enjoy it better. Because I feel like Nancy Drew books have been updated, like, to fit the time period a little bit better. I don't know about this series. It's another young girl that sells mysteries, and she is so sassy, and like she just like Nancy Drew is like organized and polite and like very put together, and then she's kind of more like normal and wild and willing to go on adventure. I always found it funny that Nancy Drew is so willing to go on adventure, because like she is written, especially in like the actual old ones, she is written as like neat and clean and tidy, and like carries around like sanitary not like wet wipe type things, and also and she like gives them to other people. You're like, here's your wet wipe. She also carried around like medicine, a first aid kit. I think one version of the story, I think she carried around like the sanitary things that you could like put over like a public toilet. I had to get more books. Shocking. A Stitch to Die For. So another cozy mystery, but Halloween themed. I also have another book on this desk that's a Halloween cozy mystery that Never Home Alone. From microbes to millipedes, camel crickets and honeybees, the natural history of where we live. So, if you thought you were safe in your own home, think again. This is called City Carrier. Walking the city streets 8 miles daily, a mailman enters the homes and lives of intriguing characters of time-worn Montana neighborhood in this poetic memoir. I like this author. All Fall Down, an Embassy Road novel. Loving Day. I like the art. Okay, everyone and their brother, mother, and granddaughter have recommended this to me because I like Alice Oseman. I loved Radio Silence. I also like artwork, so yeah. I want to try this series, but there's so many mixed reactions, but I need to. What if death was the only thing left to control? This book I started reading, Away with the Penguins. It is so good. Okay, I am noticing that I really like books. Like, I loved Where'd You Go, Bernadette. I love books where it's like this person that you don't expect to go on a grand adventure goes on a grand adventure. This one is more so like, it's an old lady who actually goes to Antarctica, I believe, based on what I've read so far. So it's more so like more of her trip is put in the story than say Where'd You Go, Bernadette, where Where'd You Go, Bernadette, like her leaving and going on a trip is like the end part, whereas this one it's like the middle part, or not even the middle part, the late beginning. Initially, when you start the book, she was just kind of waiting around to not exist. Flies on the Butter. So coming of age, an older person coming of age, they would come back home after being away. Not sure where we left off. This was a gift. You need a manifesto, how to craft your convictions and put them to work. I do need to read that. Shop class as Soulcraft. I'm actually doing this for a video, ideally. Fledgling. So beautiful. Look how beautiful. Flying Lessons and Other Stories. It's a bunch of people. Why We Work. I started this. It's actually in one of my videos. I started this months ago, maybe even last year. It's been a long, and I really got a lot out of the part that I did read, but I haven't finished it. The Mountain Is You, Transforming Sabotage into Self-Mastery. That's also for a video. No Thank You essays. Again, one of my favorite essay authors. They're just fun. Rest I've been working on for months because I keep losing it. Just like I lost Breathe. I know where it is now because I found it yesterday when I was cleaning my closet. But I need to finish that one too. The Once and Future Witches. I just thought it looked interesting. Geography of Lost Things. A lot can happen on the road from lost to to found. Allie Collins doesn't have room in her life for clutter or complications. So when her estranged father passes away and leaves her his only prized possession, a 1968 Firebird convertible, Allie knows she won't keep it. Not when it reminds her too much of all her father's unfulfilled promises. And especially not when a buyer 300 miles up the Pacific coast is offering enough money for the car to save her childhood home from foreclosure. There's only one problem though. Allie has no idea how to drive a stick shift, but her ex-boyfriend Nico does. And there's a little bit more, but that was enough to hook me. I love road trip books, I've noticed, because you can learn a lot about a person on a road trip. You get in a car, you're in a super confined space, even if it's like a bigger car or a van or a bus even. But it's like this super confined space, and then you spend all this time with a person. It's like one of the best ways to see if like you're good with another person. This is the second monk book I have that was for a video. I'm gonna do a video on two of them. The two of them. For the wolf, I got this in Texas in February, and I've read a good chunk of it. I just need to finish it because I got it when I wasn't supposed to be getting books. Okay, Jazz Owls, a novel of the Zoot Suit riots. I actually didn't know like anything about the Zoot Suit riots, so I actually really appreciate this. And the art stolen. I know nothing about it, I just like the art. And that is all I have there. I have a couple cozy mysteries over here, but honestly I'm probably gonna get rid of them. I have no idea what the number is because I haven't been keeping track. Maybe you have. That's all I have for right now. I'll see you soon.